Do you boys need stubs? Make sure you guys go to u4gm.com. Make sure you guys use code Brady for 5% off your purchase. This is easy stubs. It's nice and fast, and it's way better than giving SDS money. Alright boys, so you really liked the last edition of the Best Cheap Cards Budget Beast series. So today I'm going to be talking about the best Budget Beasts. It has been 22 days since my last Budget Beast video, so things have changed a little bit. There's been a lot more cards in the market, and there's a lot more just kind of really good cheap guys still that you guys can use on your squad. Budget guys that are really good, that are going to play pretty much just as good as a lot of these 99s and 95s that are really expensive in the game right now. So we're going to be going over the best Budget Beasts to make your team better. Now before we get this video, we're getting really close to 7K subscribers, so hit that like, hit that sub button. Goal for the video is probably about 60 likes, and let's get right into it. Now the budget for today's video is going to be either free-to-play cards or 15,000 stub cards. One thing that I am not going to put in the rankings though is going to be face the franchise cards. Like, I just feel like they don't really mean to make the video because these are guys that you guys can get and that you guys get through the program. They're not necessarily like market cards. But if I am talking about honorable mentions and the best 3 that I think come from this pack, it's probably that 90 overall Mike Trout, obviously, the Corey Seager. And then I actually, as far as bullpen guys go, I really love this Devin Williams, so I'll put him in the honorable mentions, but I'm not going to put them in the list. Now, the first card that I'm going to talk about, the number 10 spot, now this is a no-brainer, and I am still using him. You can see that my bullpen, I still have a lot of golds, and the reason why I do is because this gold is just always absolutely amazing. Number 10 is going to be Chapman. He's going for 3,000 stubs. Make sure you guys get him. He's in my lineup. Now, this is the 82, and I'm telling you guys, I'm going to be rocking with this 82 over the 90 overall face of the franchise Chapman, because Chapman's always playing up, and he's got a little bit better hits per 9 whenever he's playing up. I got him paralleled a little bit. He has thrown 25 innings for me already, and this is all all-star innings. He's a 3.9 ERA for MLB The Show. That's absolutely nuts, considering he's pitching on all-star a lot of these times. I don't think I've played a single Hall of Fame or Legend game yet, so he's shoving on all-star. So just pick up Chapman. You won't regret it. Put him at the 10 spot today because he's a dog. At the number 9 spot today, I've got 90 overall Larry Doby. Now, not only is this guy a budget beast, but this guy is going to get really, really expensive in like a month or two. I've got him in BR a couple of times, and I did have him in center for like my first ranked game whenever I finished the BR program. I didn't have anybody else, but this guy is actually not bad at all. Now, the one thing I will say about Larry Doby being in center is he has 63 speed, so maybe move him to a corner. He's just not going to track down a lot of balls that you want to see. But he's got a really good swing. I know that he's only 104.90 versus righties, but for a 10,000 stub card, that's absolutely filthy. I know that he drops off versus lefties, so maybe you want to platoon him. That's why he's in the 9th spot. He's not a complete player, but he is really good. I think that you guys definitely need to think about still using Larry Doby. At the number 8 spot today, I got a pitcher that's going for about 11,000 stubs, and that's got Greg Maddix all over. Now, the reason why I'm putting Greg Maddix a little bit lower than this, yes, he is a pitcher. He's really slow. Now, I understand that Greg Maddix cards usually shove, and he's got sinker cutter circle change, but the 83 hits per 9 at this point in the year is pretty mid. That's pretty okay. The 104 stamina is obviously great, so he's definitely one of the better starting pitchers. I might have been able to put him a couple of spots higher, but I think the 8 spot is definitely a good spot for Greg Maddix. As far as pitchers go, they're all kind of just personal preference, but the sinker cutter combo from Greg Maddix is just usually really disgusting. And this guy, I think, is a lot better than a lot of the face of the franchise arms. So, number 8 spot today, I like Greg Maddix a lot. This is a guy that I'm definitely thinking about purchasing on the squad. If I wasn't just so focused on collections right now, I'm using a little bit more, even worse budget guys. But Greg Maddix is really good, and I'll put him in the 8 spot today. The number 7 spot, I have maybe my biggest hot take of the video, but he's going for about 7,500 stubs, and I've got Panda. And the reason why I have Pablo Sandoval, man, is his card is just, and now I'm not looking at him as a third baseman. You look at this card as a catcher. Switch hitting catcher, 91, 123. Once you parallel him up, he'll be above 70 power on both sides with pretty decent vision. Pablo Sandoval has a beautiful swing, an absolute beautiful swing. I think that he's a budget beast catcher. I love Pablo Sandoval. I think this card is not a hot take of a budget beast. Definitely personal preference. I know it's my hottest take of the video, but Pablo Sandoval is a really good catcher card. And if you need him at third base, he can play third base for you, but he's a switch hitter, which creates absolute value. I think this card is way better than Yasmani Grandal. I love him a lot. I think Pablo Sandoval is a absolute beast. At the number 6 spot today, I've actually got Kwan. Now, the reason why I have Kwan and why I love this card so much, he's going for about 2,000 stubs. This card is really, really good. One thing that I'm going to compare him as far as MLB The Show, I know he's at 84, but he reminds me a lot, stats-wise, swing-wise, of a little bit worse version of like a Tony Gwynn card. Now, Tony Gwynn cards always usually play above their stats. They're always above 100 contact, and then they've got about 60-ish power. But this card is really, really good. He hits both sides well. He fields it decently in left field. Like, you're not going to want really good defense, but he's got silver defense out there. He'll be fine. You can parallel him up to even have gold defense in left. So defense is not a problem with this card. He rakes, man. He's a 2-hole, a 6-hole card. He's going for about 2,000 stubs. You guys are sleeping on Kwan. I think that he's a really good card and someone that you guys can definitely add to your squad. At the number 5 spot today, I've got Rob Dibble, man. If you guys know the legend of Rob Dibble, this guy he always absolutely shoves. The heater's 102, the cutter's disgusting, the slider's slower. Rob Dibble is a really good, reliable bullpen arm. He's someone that you guys definitely need to have on the staff. You can pick him up. I believe that he actually comes from the Battle Royale program. But Rob Dibble is absolutely disgusting and definitely someone that you guys need to end up getting on the squad. At the number 4 spot, I wanted to put him a little bit higher. It's going to be Yordan Alvarez. He's my permanent bench bat no matter what. Guys, Yordan absolutely rakes. 49 plate appearances. He's got 8 bombs for me. He's slugging over 1,000. 447 batting average. This guy, you can pick him up for 2,500 stubs. He plays up an absolute lot. Like, he's playing up 14 right now versus righties. He's absolutely gross with his swing. Just big schlong Yordan, dude. He's so good. He's amazing. Pick him up. If you need a left fielder, put him in left. His defense is going to hurt, but that bat is unreal. If you need a bench bat, make sure you get Yordan. He is absolutely filthy. At the number 3 spot for just around 13,000 stubs of the cell. Now, I'm going to talk about my boy Eric Davis. Now, this is why I love Eric Davis, is he plays above his stats. Great swing every single year. 95 speed, 99 steal for a center fielder with, I know he has 72 fielding, but since he has 95 speed, he's going to be able to cover a lot of ground in center. He's also got a great arm, and so he's a pretty good defensive guy in center field. He's absolutely gross. He's an amazing center fielder. You guys are going to love this card. And on top of that, he rakes lefties. I know that he's not the greatest hitting stats versus righties, but the thing about Eric Davis is that he just always plays above his stats. It's like how you pick up his card every time you see him in BR. He absolutely rakes. He's got a really good swing. They gave him the good swing this year, the one that's just absolutely glitchy like it has been the past couple, and they didn't mess with anything. I like this card a lot. That's why he makes the top 3 for me. I think he's really good. At the number 2 spot, man, I don't know how I feel about this card, but it's Salmon. And right now, you can pick him up for under about 15,000 stubs, and he can be your right fielder. He has really good stats. He has really good stats this year. 98-81 versus righties, which is really good for this type of year. And this card really excels versus lefties. Now, there's a lot of really good lefties in the game right now, but he's 103-101 versus lefties. Obviously, the fielding, non-existent. 60 fielding. But for these budget beasts, you're kind of just looking for one or the other. They either hit really good, or they're kind of all around with a little bit worse hitting stats, kind of like the Eric Davis. But Salmon, I think he's just a little bit better Eric Davis than some of these other cards. I know the top of the list is kind of interchangeable. These are kind of just the 10 best budget beasts. Salmon, I think he makes it. I think he deserves it. And the number 1 spot in the video goes to a boy who's a little bit more expensive, but I'm going to put him up here anyways because I do think he's going to actually end up dropping a little bit more. I know he's at 17K right now, and that's a little expensive for a budget beast, but Kenny Lofton is he's amazing. This card will fall a little bit in maybe a day or two, but he's been getting lower and lower and lower. Yesterday, when I checked his price, I believe it was right around like 22K, and I bet by tonight, whenever prices usually drop, usually they're a little bit higher during the day, I bet that it will end up being about 15,000 stubs. So that's why I'm making an exception for my number 1 pick, but it's Kenny Lofton. Kenny Lofton always plays absolutely amazingly. He's got 98 speed, 99 steal. He can bunt cheese if you're into that, and he just absolutely rakes. I know a little bit more than 15K. I know that this is a budget beast video, but I had to put Kenny Lofton at the top because he just is a budget beast, and he's going to be at the top of this list for a very long time. Wait a couple days, he'll be 15K. I promise you. You're going to have to put in a sell now order for him, but he's really good. You're going to love this card once you end up getting him. Kenny Lofton is gross every single year. It doesn't matter what card it is. but he always plays above his stats. He hits doubles in the gaps. He runs a lot. He can bunt cheese. He plays great defense in center field with a pretty bad arm, but it's okay because he gets the best animations. Now, boys, if you enjoyed this video, make sure you guys drop a like and a sub, as I appreciate it a lot. Thank you guys so much for watching. Have a great rest of your day, and peace.